Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Let's begin the discussion of the personality adjective. Hi everybody and welcome back to Top Words. My name is Alicia and in today's episode we're going to be talking about what adjective describes your personality best. So let's go. Charismatic. Someone who is charismatic is perhaps a good leader. People are drawn to them. People want to follow them, want to come to them. Charismatic doesn't necessarily mean that that person is a good person or a bad person, just that they are very good at drawing people to them. People tell me that I'm very charismatic. Boring. Boring means something that is not interesting. So hopefully nobody calls you boring. If you're a boring person, work on that. Let's talk about cardboard boxes. Reliable. Reliable. Someone who's reliable, someone that you can trust, or someone that always does what they say they're going to do. My best friend is very reliable. Humorous. Humorous. Humorous is just funny. There's a difference between funny and humorous and silly in terms of people. Anyway, this is how I would break it down. Silly is like appreciates just very kind of childish stuff or just enjoys laughing. Funny is like a slightly more grown up. Funny, I feel like silly can be part of funny. Silly can fit into funny. But funny is a little bit more grown up. Maybe you're like actual word jokes that are, you know, require a bit more knowledge or are a bit smarter. And then humorous. Humorous is like, I feel like it's a bit more pretentious. I hope that my friends think that I'm a very humorous person. The next word is energetic. Energetic means you have a lot of energy. I personally don't use it. If someone says, what's your best friend like? I wouldn't immediately think, he's energetic. Like, I feel like that's a given somehow. And when I say that's a given, it means it's an already understood idea. I would use energetic for something you would not expect to be energetic. My grandmother is very energetic. She hikes mountains, even though she's 80-something. Lazy. Yeah, you don't want to be called lazy generally. It means that maybe you're not hardworking, you don't take care of yourself, or you don't take care of your responsibilities. Generally, lazy is not seen as a good thing, unless you use it in an expression like today is a lazy Sunday. One of my coworkers is really lazy. He never has his stuff done on time. Extroverted. Extroverted. It begins with that prefix extro, like ex meaning outside, so like extra, more information. So an extroverted person is a very outgoing person. They like talking to people. They want to go out and do all the things and be social and go, yeah, I like being extroverted on this program. Introverted. The opposite of extroverted is introverted. Introverted inside, something interior. They want to not go talk to people all the time. Or maybe they just have a different way of expressing their social skills. In reality, I'm a rather introverted person. The next word is indecisive. Indecisive. Indecisive people drive me crazy. This word means someone who is bad at making decisions. I have a friend who's very indecisive. She can't ever make up her mind. I have to do it for her. Easygoing. Easygoing. Easygoing is a good thing to be, generally, in my opinion. Easygoing means you're relaxed. You'll just do whatever. You're happy to just hang out. If someone makes a suggestion, you're cool with that. All right, fine. That's great for me. I'll do whatever. My best friend is very easygoing. He's cool to do anything. The next word is naive. Naive. So someone that doesn't have a lot of experience in a topic or even life experience could be considered naive. You don't want to be called naive. The suggestion with naive is that it's easy to take advantage of you. Maybe you could be easily molded or your experience can easily be changed by someone else. So generally naive is not a good thing. You don't want to be naive. My friend was very naive and got in trouble with a bad business deal. The next word is artistic. Yeah, artistic is a good word, similar to creative, perhaps. Artistic is someone who enjoys art or enjoys creating things. So this It's not limited to, just art, like paintings, doing paintings or sculptures or something like that. Any kind of creative endeavor, any kind of creative work, I feel you could use the word artistic for. My aunt is very artistic. She can draw very well. Enthusiastic. This is similar to energetic, but it just means you're excited about things. You're enthusiastic about something, usually. Sports fans are very enthusiastic about their favorite team. Friendly. I hope that you are a friendly person. Is someone maybe that it feels easy for you to talk to. Someone that's chill, someone that's probably outgoing, maybe a bit extroverted is a friendly person. I went to an event on Saturday and everybody there was very friendly. It was a fun time. How would I describe my personality? God, it depends on the day, man. The one that I use lately is scatterbrained, but that has a very negative connotation about it. Scatterbrained, if you break down the words scatter and brain, scatter means like to spread something randomly, and brain meaning inside your brain. I have so many different things going on that like I'm thinking about like this job and this project and that project, and I have to do this, and oh my God, my laundry's not done yet, and what am I gonna make for dinner tomorrow? Oh my God, I have to go running later tonight. What am I gonna do? How many cups of coffee have I had? This is what's going on in my head. Those are 15 words that you can use to talk about your personality or to talk about someone else's personality. So you can try and use one of these words to describe your personality. Leave us a comment below and you can test it out. If there's a different word that you are interested in using to describe your personality or another person's personality, let us know about it. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words, and we will see you again soon. Bye! Welcome to EnglishClass101.com's English in 3 minutes, the fastest, easiest, and most fun way to learn English. Hi, how's it going? I'm Alicia. Nice to meet you. In this series, we're going to learn some easy ways to ask and answer common questions in English. It's really useful, and it only takes 3 minutes. In this lesson, you're going to learn new, more common ways to ask and answer the question, "How are you?" in English. You've probably learned, "How are you?" and "I'm fine" in textbooks before, but in the United States, people will usually ask this question and answer it in a different way. First, let's review. If someone says, "How are you?" you can say, "I'm fine." I'm fine. Here are some other ways to answer. Pretty good. This means about the same thing as I'm fine. Pretty good. We also have not bad. You can use this if you are feeling just okay or so-so. Not bad. Let's look at our question again. How are you? This is the most well-known way of asking how someone is. You could use it when you want to be polite. But now, let's look at some different ways to ask how someone is. These ways are more casual and much more common. First, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? You can answer this in many ways. If you're feeling good, you can say, good. Good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad. Not bad. Once more, good, pretty good, not bad. Here's a tip. Even though these answers mean the same thing as I'm fine, you can't answer how's it going with I'm fine. It will sound a bit strange. If you're not feeling good, you can say not so good. Not so good. Not great, not great, or not so well, not so well. Be careful. If you say one of these, the other person will usually ask, why? What's wrong? To be polite. Then you will have to explain. Another casual but very common version of how are you is what's up? What's up? To reply, use a cheerful voice as you say, not much, or nothing much, nothing much. This means you're free and able to chat.
Since what's up is just another way of saying hello, you can also reply with hey or hi. Now it's time for Alicia's advice. A lot of the time, when we ask questions that mean, how are you, in English, we're not actually asking about the other person's health. We're only asking to be polite. You should think of these questions as another way of saying hello, a way for the conversation to get started, instead of actual, literal questions. In fact, when someone asks you, what's up, you don't even have to answer. Just say, what's up, in reply. Do you know the difference between what do you do and what are you doing? It's a little tricky, but we'll explain it simply in the next English in 3 minutes lesson. See you next time.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia, and today I'm going to talk about prepositions of time. I'm going to talk about a few prepositions we use when we're talking about time and time periods. So let's get started. Okay, so the first preposition of time I want to talk about is on. We use on for days, for example, on Sunday, on Monday, on Tuesday. And we use on for the weekend, like on the weekend or on weekends. These are the two cases where we use on as a preposition of time. I like to something something on Sunday. I like to something something on weekends. We use on in these two cases. The second preposition of time I want to talk about for today is at. So we use at when we want to talk about a time, and by time I mean o'clock, like 7 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock. We can also use at with AM and PM, like at 2 a.m., at 7 p.m. We use at to talk about a specific point in time, a specific number, for example. We also use at with the expression at night, at night. I like to something something at night. I usually something something at night. We always use at in this case. Then I have one more here, the weekend. You'll see I used the weekend for on here, but in British English, I speak American English. In British English, you might hear at the weekend instead of on the weekend. So at the weekend is something you might hear depending on where you are or depending on the people with whom you study. But for me, I prefer to use on the weekend. Okay, let's talk about in next. So we use in for a lot of different cases, as you can see. We use in for months, like in September, in October, in November. We use it for seasons, like in summer, in spring, in fall. We use it for expressions like in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon as well. In the morning, in the afternoon. We also use in for periods of time, so minutes, hours, and years, for example. So in 5 minutes, in 3 years, in a few seconds. If you want to talk about a period of time, you can use in to explain that. So we use in for a lot of different cases. The last thing I want to talk about, though, is a situation where you don't need to use a preposition at all. When you use this plus weekend, like this weekend, or this morning, or this evening, or this month, this September, this October, you do not need to use a preposition in this case. We'll practice in just a moment, but this is a very common mistake. If you use this before one of these expressions, you do not need to include a preposition, so please be careful. Okay, so with this information, I want to try a few example sentences that I've prepared here. The first one is, I have to leave something something 5 minutes. 5 minutes is a period of time, so we know the correct preposition is in. I have to leave in 5 minutes is the correct answer here. Next, what are you doing? Something something. December, December. So we know December is a month. We should use in this case. What are you doing in December? Of course, by the way, with this sentence, we could say, what are you doing this December, to be very specific. But in this case, for a preposition, we should use in.
Okay, next sentence. I'll meet you at the restaurant 6 p.m. 6 p.m. is a time. So we know that we should use at. At 6 p.m. At 6 p.m. Okay, next. Your plane leaves something something 2 hours. So 2 hours again is a period of time. A period of time. Therefore, we should use in. Your plane leaves in 2 hours is the correct sentence here. Okay, next. They're going to France something something this summer. Here is a big hint word, this. Therefore, no preposition is needed in this case. They're going to France this summer. No preposition here. Okay, next. He's meeting us in the station something something noon. So noon, I've used the word noon here, but noon is a time. It means 12 p.m., yeah? So, because it's still a time, we should use at. At noon is the correct sentence here. Okay, next. Can you meet me at the cafe something something 2 p.m.? So 2 p.m. Here we have another time. At 2 p.m. is the correct answer here. Okay, next. I like going hiking something something weekends. Weekend. So we learned over here that we use on to talk about weekends. Weekends in this case, multiple weekends. So I like going hiking on weekends is the correct answer in this case. Finally, it's hard for me to wake up something something the morning. The morning. So we saw here morning is used with in. So in the morning is the correct answer for this sentence. So with a little bit of practice, and as you use these phrases, not just with a single preposition, but as you use these in longer sentences and as part of phrases, it will become easier to remember which is which and which one you should use at which time. So I hope this was useful for you. Also, if you're interested in seeing a different explanation and some different example sentences, please check out the live stream that we did about this topic. You can find it on our YouTube channel. Thanks very much for watching this episode. If you have any questions or comments, please let us know in a comment below this video. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel too. Check us out at EnglishClass101.com for more information as well. Thanks very much for watching and see you again soon. Bye! Hi everybody, my name is Alicia and I'm joined again in the studio by
Michael. Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about English conversation strategies. So let's get right into it. Let's start with Michael. What is your first strategy for keeping an English conversation going?
This is very important. Don't say, I'm fine, thank you, and you. You hear this all the time from second language English learners or non-native speakers. You learn this, it's one of the first things you learn in an English class. It's easy, it's good, it's basic, it's foundation. Okay, that's fine. But as soon as you can, switch it up. Because to me, when I meet a foreigner and they come up and if they say, hey, how are you? Say, oh, I'm fine, I'm good, whatever. How about you? And they say, I'm fine, thank you, and you. And it's almost robotic because I've said it so many times. And when I hear that, I think, their English isn't that good. And inside, I'm just gonna be really polite and say, hello, and talk slowly and try to get out of there as quick as I can. So really impress the foreigner. In my opinion, I think the best way to do it is say something, use a big word or just like a slang word, something like that. When I hear that, I go, wow, man, I want to know what this person thinks. I want to get their point of view and I'm really excited. And then I've had great conversations because of that.
That's a really, really good one. And actually, I think on this YouTube channel, actually, from a couple years ago, there's a video all about better answers to the question, how are you, than I'm fine, thank you, and you. Or if someone says, hey, how are you? I go, I'm good, you? Or fine, you? Never, I'm fine, thank you, and you. Never. But try to actually use, a phrase that a native speaker would use. And then that's a clue to the native speaker that, oh, maybe this person is ready for a conversation beyond, basic English. So that's a really good point. I like that. I didn't think of things not to do. I only thought of things to do. So, okay, cool. Let's see. Let's go to my first one. So, this strategy in general is just ask the other person a question. I think, and I'm guilty of this too when I'm learning another language, I tend to only get input.
like somebody else is always asking me the questions, and then I forget myself to ask the other person a question. So one question that I like to ask, or a variation, any kind of WH question is good, like a who question, what, where. Something like this, if you've been paying attention, you can use anyway to transition in your conversation. This was in a previous video. You can ask something like, anyway, up to anything fun this weekend? This is a pretty casual conversational question that you can ask just about anybody, whether you've just met them or whether you've known them for a while. But just get in the habit of asking other people the question. Don't wait for someone else to ask you the question. So that's one strategy that I try to use to keep things going.
Yeah, me too. I agree. And I'm going to say samesies because actually 2 of my questions were exactly what you said. Agree 100%. This is kind of cheating. These should be 1. But so always ask questions. So, again, you forget. It's really easy. I'm really guilty of this. English, non-English, whatever. I'm guilty of this. And the other thing is ask deep, open-ended questions. So if you ask a yes or no question, so again, like Alicia was saying, it just dead ends. You can't just say, do you like cheese? Yes or no, right? So you want to say, what do you think about cheese? What is your favorite kind? And kind of open it up to something else and let it just kind of snowball.
Right. Right. Yeah, I think that's really a key. Like I have another variation on it, which I guess I'll just continue on to because it kind of relates to what you're talking about. Like he's saying, always ask questions, always ask deep, open-ended questions. So like you just said, don't ask a yes or no question because yes or no ends with the yes or the no. So one of the things that I'll do is use a pattern similar to this, like, hey, did you see, or hey, did you hear about blah, blah, blah. So you can use this little blah, blah, blah as your, you can ask about the news. You can ask about something funny you saw on the internet. You can ask about, something that you heard from another friend of yours, whatever. It's just a way to check in with the other person and say, oh, did you also experience this thing that I experienced? Let's talk about that. So that might be another question that you can use with people.
I like that one. I really like that one because you got to stay within people's comfort zone. So maybe you ask and maybe they don't want to, right? So a good thing is, did you hear about it? That's up to them. Maybe they don't want to talk about it. They can say, oh yeah, I heard about that. And you can kind of feel the atmosphere and realize, maybe I shouldn't talk about this, change the subject. Or they get passionate and they start talking about it. And there you go. And just let it go. Yeah, absolutely. One thing, again, I'm guilty of is you do got to keep returning it.
Right.
Don't just say, oh yeah, and what I think about da 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 da. Bring it back, ask them, what about you? That's a common thing I forget about.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I have one more. This one, use when you see fit. I'll just introduce it. Compliment the other person or compliment the other persons. This can be a nice strategy just to show that you're enjoying the other person's company. It can be as simple as, oh, I like your shirt today, or oh, that's a nice dress you're wearing today, or oh, did you get a new haircut that looks good on you? Something like that. So this is a nice way to make the other person maybe want to spend more time with you, I think.
Yeah, I agree 100%. 2 things. One, I think it's a good conversation starter sometimes. If you got to be careful with a stranger, it can be creepy. It can be a little uncomfortable what you're complimenting, right? But if it's something like if they have a t-shirt and it's a band that you both like, that's a great conversation starter, and you feel, wow, we're connected, Number 2, the second thing I was thinking about is that keep it honest. I love a sincere compliment. It really means a lot more, and it really does butter them up, kind of get them open to having more conversations, deeper, that kind of thing. But one of the things people do, which I don't like, is let's say they say, hey, nice shirt, and then the person out of habit will say, oh, you too, I like your shirt too. Just my opinion, I don't think this feels really natural, doesn't really feel sincere. So I would save it, make a mental note and go, I need to return the favor. I need to give them a compliment. But wait until you notice something you really do like and say, hey, actually, I love blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Like when you can sense whether someone is being sincere or not. What is your next strategy for continuing an English conversation?
Well, don't be afraid to open up. I like this one. I think this is good. A lot of people will be kind of shy. They won't open up too much. Again, within your comfort zone. But I like this one because people will return the favor. Because if you're just having small talk and you say, the weather's nice today, blah, 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 you can only go so far. So don't be afraid to say something personal. Again, trust your judgment. Don't be a creeper. We don't want to hear certain things about your life.
So don't be a creep. Don't be a creep. Don't be weird. Don't be strange. And like what you're saying about opening up. Open up is just a phrase that means share something about yourself. So it can be as simple as what you did last weekend or what you're going to do this weekend or a project that you have coming up. It doesn't mean that you have to spill all of your life secrets to the other person, but just showing that you're willing to share something more personal about yourself can help ingratiate yourself or can help, make the other person, help the other person understand you a little bit better. That's a good tip. I like that tip. That's hard to do though. It's hard. It's a little bit scary, I think, to share parts of yourself, but it's good. It's a good way to meet people and make friends. All right. I think that's all. Is that all that you have?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, those are some interesting strategies to keep an English conversation going. So give them a try. If you're ever at a loss for words and don't know what to say, you can try one of these strategies and hopefully it will help you out. Please let us know if you have any other strategies or anything else that you would like to use or you tried to use when you are having trouble keeping a conversation going. Leave us a comment and let us know what it is. We will see you again next time. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
That's about it.
All right. So thanks very much for joining us and take care. Bye-bye. Now, have you ever thought about how much you think about thinking? Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. Welcome to Know Your Verbs. In this episode, we're going to talk about the verb think. So let's get started. The basic definition of think is to have in the mind. So something you can keep in your mind, like an idea or an image. Something you keep in your head, something in your mind, something in your brain. So to keep in the mind is think, to think. This is the basic definition of think. So let's look at the conjugations of the verb think. Present tense, think, thinks. Past tense, thought. Past participle, thought. Progressive or continuous tense, thinking. Think, thinks. Thought, thought. Thinking. Okay, let's look at some additional meanings of the verb think. First is to consider or to reflect on or to ponder. It means consider something carefully or spend time considering something. So ponder means to think for a long time or to think hard about something. So consider carefully, reflect on. Examples. Can I have a day to think about this? He's thinking about what to do next. So in these example sentences, can I have a day to think about this? Taking one day to reflect on something, like before you make a decision, is a pretty common thing to do before like a big decision. So can I have a day to think about this means can I have a day to consider this carefully, or can I have a day to ponder this? In the second example sentence, he's thinking about what to do next means he's considering carefully his next step. He's considering carefully what he should do next. So thinking is used in the progressive tense here to show that he is currently, at this time, considering something carefully. But to consider carefully, we can make shorter and use the verb thinking. He's thinking about what to do next. Okay. Next is to create something by thinking, or to create something by considering. We usually use this with the word up after the verb think. We thought up so many crazy party ideas in college. She thought up a plan for product promotion. So both of these example sentences mean to create something by considering it in your mind. So in the first example sentence, we thought up crazy ideas for parties in college, means we designed something using our brains. We considered something and created an idea. We created something by thinking. So to think up, blah, blah, blah. So we thought up crazy party ideas. So we designed crazy party ideas by thinking about them, by considering things in our minds. In the second example sentence, we see the same meaning but for a business situation. She thought up a plan for product promotion. So in this case, past tense, she thought up, she designed a plan for product promotion. But when we say designed, it sounds maybe like She planned something on a computer, perhaps. When we use she thought up, it means she used her mind. She considered the ideas she had and created a plan in her mind for promotion of the product. So thought up uses the mind to create something. Next is to have as an expectation. To have as an expectation, to expect something. I didn't think you'd arrive so quickly. We thought it would take a lot longer to finish dinner. So in the first example sentence, we didn't think you'd arrive so quickly. It means the speaker expects that the listener would take longer to arrive, or the listener was going to arrive later than they actually did. So the speaker in this case had the expectation that the listener was going to arrive later. So they used the negative, we didn't think you'd arrive so quickly. So we didn't expect you'd arrive so quickly. We can replace the verb think with expect here, and it creates the same meaning, the same nuance really, but think sounds a little bit less formal than expect. So we didn't think you'd arrive so quickly. The second example sentence is, we thought it would take a lot longer to finish dinner. Again, we had the expectation it would take a lot longer to finish dinner. We can replace the verb thought, past tense, with the past tense expected. We expected it would take a lot longer to finish dinner. So in this way, think, or in past tense thought, is used in exactly the same way as expected here. The next meaning is to consider suitability. To consider suitability. Let's look at some examples. I've never thought of him like a manager. We're thinking of her for a higher position. So in the first sentence, I've never thought of him like a manager. In this way, thought means I've never understood him to be suitable for the position of manager. That's a very long way of explaining this sentence. But to condense everything, we use the word thought. I've never thought of him as a manager. It means I've never considered him to potentially be suitable as a manager. In the second example sentence, we're thinking of her for a higher position. It means we're considering whether or not she is suitable for a higher position at her job or a higher position at her company. So in this way, thinking in the progressive tense means we are considering her suitability for a position, a higher level position. So you'll notice that the two example sentences included here are related to work. You'll see, though, that this meaning tends to be used a lot with jobs and maybe political positions, so kind of something maybe promotion related. So promotion related or kind of hierarchy related. You'll often hear this in work situations, employment situations. Let's look at some variations, some other words we can attach to think to create different meanings. First is think better of. Think better of. Think better of means to reconsider and make a better decision or make an improved decision. It means to consider something again and change your decision, hopefully to make an improved decision. Examples. I wanted to say something, but I thought better of it and kept my mouth shut. We'll think better of you if you tell the truth. So in both of these sentences, there's a reconsideration. Someone is considering something again and making an improved decision because of that reconsideration. So in the first example sentence, I wanted to say something. We see in past tense, I wanted to say something, but I thought better of it. So it, in this case, is the thing I wanted to say in the first part of the sentence. I thought better of it means I reconsidered it and decided against my first inclination. I decided not to do the first thing I was thinking about. And I kept my mouth shut. So in this case, my mouth remained closed. In other words, I reconsidered my initial action, the action I initially wanted to do. In the second sentence, we'll think better of you if you tell the truth. We see it's used for future. We will think better of you if you tell the truth, meaning if you tell the truth, our opinion of you will improve. We will think better of you. So tell the truth and we'll consider you again, essentially, and our opinion of you will improve if you do this. The next variation is think much of. Think much of. This means to have a positive view of or to approve of. Examples. He doesn't think much of his professor. We didn't think much of last night's dinner. We see in the first example sentence, he didn't think much of his professor means he didn't really approve of his professor, or he didn't have a very positive view of his professor. So a shorter way to explain that feeling is he didn't think much of his professor. In the second example sentence, we didn't think much of last night's dinner. This means, again, we didn't really approve of last night's dinner, or we don't have a very positive view or a very positive opinion of last night's dinner. These are rather long, so we can condense it to we didn't think much of last night's dinner. So I hope that this video helped you level up your knowledge of how to use the verb think. If you have any questions or comments, or if you know another way to use the word think, please let us know in the comment section below the video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for other good things too. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Know Your Verbs, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Oh, I think that your thought about my thought is a thinking thought. What? My name is Alicia, only for this episode. First is... I'm thinking about summer. Whenever I'm ready. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Top Words. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to be talking about 10 words for connecting thoughts. These are going to be 10 words that you can use to transition between ideas. Very useful in both speech and in writing. Let's go. Also is a word that you can use to add information. I went to the store this morning. Also, I went and got coffee. That's true. However is used to contrast, or to contrast, depending on your pronunciation, to differentiate, to show a difference between two pieces of information. A good pattern would be A, however, B. So, for example, I love tonkotsu ramen. However, it is very high in calories, so I don't eat it often. Also true. On the other hand is, I feel, used more commonly in speech than it is in writing. Again, it's used to present like two sides to a story or two sides to some information. So, for example, I'm thinking about visiting Taiwan sometime this year, but on the other hand, I'm also thinking about visiting Thailand. Still. So it might be common to use still with a word like but or a word like even though. So you're saying even though there's some other factor, like I'm really, really tired this week, or even though I have a lot of homework to do, I still want to go out with my friends, or I still want to see a movie this weekend. So there's this thing that's maybe makes this other action difficult to do or tough to do or whatever. But even though there's this, you still have this over here. So maybe the two are kind of used as a pair. So I still want to go out later, even though I'm tired. Then, yes, a very useful word. We use then when telling stories a lot. So for example, if I could tell a story about my morning today, when I got up, I brushed my teeth, and then I cooked breakfast, then I did a little bit of work, then I took a shower, then I did some cooking, blah, blah, blah. You'll often hear and then as well. And then I, and then we, and then you, and so on. So then is really, really useful for sequence. So a useful word, I think. Besides. So it's commonly used in a pattern like besides that, meaning other than something else. I went out with my friends this weekend, but besides that, I didn't really do much. So another way to say that sentence is, I went out with my friends this weekend, but other than that activity, I didn't do very much. Okay. Meanwhile, or you might hear the similar expression in the meantime. It means while you're doing action A, at the same time, maybe somewhere else, action B is happening. This is used while telling stories a lot. So for example, I was working at my office all week last week. Meanwhile, my coworkers across town were having a party without me. So these two things are happening at the same time. but maybe separate from one another. Meanwhile. Likewise. Okay, likewise. I don't really use this word personally myself at all. It's often used after an introduction, similar to the pleasure is all mine in a formal situation. So maybe somebody says, hey, it was really great to see you last weekend. Thanks very much for coming to my barbecue. You can say, yeah, likewise, it was really good to see you and your family. So likewise means I have the same feeling or I have the same idea. It's kind of a friendly phrase, but personally, I don't really use that to transition between thoughts. I would just use and, I suppose, but that's how I would use it. Instead. So instead, it's used like instead of. I want to A instead of B can be used to express your plans or what you want to do. I want to have Chinese food instead of Italian food tonight. So you're presenting two alternatives, essentially. So instead of means in place of or as a substitute for. So I should have drank a lot of water this morning, but instead I drank a lot of coffee. That's true. I wanted to have dinner with my friends this weekend. Instead, I had dinner at home. In addition, this is a really good word for more formal situations. I like to use in addition in writing. I don't really use in addition in speaking unless I'm trying to be very formal for some reason. Similar to additionally as well. So you make point A and point B, and then when you want to make one more point that's related to point A and point B, you can say, in addition, point C. So you're like building an argument, and in addition can be used to kind of finish that argument off a little bit. Our new marketing plan worked really well last month. We noticed increased sales in product A. In addition, we've gained a lot of new customers, something like that. So just you're quickly presenting a series of ideas that are related to one another. You can use in addition to finish it off. All right, so that's the end of 10 words for connecting thoughts. I hope you get to use a lot of these. Try to mix it up. It's good to use a variety of different words. Thanks very much for watching this episode, and we will see you again next time for more fun stuff. Bye! Whenever I'm ready.
How are your English listening skills? First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end.
A woman is talking to her hairstylist. How would she like to change her hair?
Hi, may I help you?
Hi, I've got a 3:00 reservation for Richie.
Ah, yes. Welcome, Miss Ritchie. Please come this way. What can I do for you today?
I'd like to change my hairstyle a little bit.
Okay. What length would you like?
About shoulder length.
All right. And what about your bangs?
Keep the bangs.
Straight down or parted on the side?
To the side a bit.
Which side?
Maybe a little left from the middle?
Got it. We'll start with the shampoo, so please come this way.
How would she like to change her hair? A woman is talking to her hairstylist. How would she like to change her hair?
Hi, may I help you?
Hi, I've got a 3:00 reservation for Richie.
Ah, yes. Welcome, Miss Ritchie. Please come this way. What can I do for you today?
I'd like to change my hairstyle a little bit.
Okay. What length would you like?
About shoulder length.
All right. And what about your bangs?
Keep the bangs.
Straight down or parted on the side?
To the side a bit.
Which side?
Maybe a little left from the middle?
Got it. We'll start with the shampoo, so please come this way.
A man is making a reservation at a hotel. Which room is he going to stay in? Seaside Hotel, how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to stay for one night on September 22nd.
Certainly. One night from September 22nd. How many people?
2.
Would you like a smoking or a non-smoking room, sir?
Non-smoking.
The only non-smoking room available on that day is a mountain view room. Is that okay?
Well, I was hoping for an ocean view room.
I'm sorry, but the only ocean view room available on that day is a smoking room.
I see. Is there a non-smoking ocean view room available on September 23rd?
Yes, there is.
Okay, we'll stay on September 23rd.
Which room is he going to stay in? A man is making a reservation at a hotel. Which room is he going to stay in? Seaside Hotel, how may I help you?
Hi, I'd like to stay for one night on September 22nd.
Certainly. One night from September 22nd. How many people?
2.
Would you like a smoking or a non-smoking room, sir?
Non-smoking.
The only non-smoking room available on that day is a mountain view room. Is that okay?
Well, I was hoping for an ocean view room.
I'm sorry, but the only ocean view room available on that day is a smoking room.
I see. Is there a non-smoking ocean view room available on September 23rd?
Yes, there is.
Okay, we'll stay on September 23rd.
Did you get it right? I hope you learned something from this quiz. Let us know if you have any questions. See you next time.
Hi everybody and welcome back to Top Words. My name is Alicia and today we're going to be talking about 10 compliments that you always want to hear. Let's go. I love your cooking. This is my personal favorite compliment. Oh my god, I love cooking. Like I'm always posting like pictures of things that I cooked on Twitter. I'm just like crazy about food. So this would be a compliment that I would love to get. Like the ultimate compliment for me though would be, will you make my birthday cake? That would be such a compliment. Like it's a question, but there's so much behind that. Will you make my birthday cake? I'd be like, oh, you would give that to me? So maybe after you can use this after a meal, for example. I love your cooking. And the other person will be like, next is great job, great job. This is a compliment that you can use anytime. You can use it with your friend, not with your boss. Your boss might use it with you, an employee, a coworker or colleague, a pet even, whatever. It's just a very small scale, a very easy to use compliment that means you think whatever has just happened is good. I use great job all the time. I use great job and I use good job. Sometimes when I make a mistake or something funny happens and I'm alone at my house and I want to make fun of myself, I'll be like, yeah, great job, Alicia. But if I'm trying to be positive about a failure or laugh at myself a bit. But in general, it's just a good, easy compliment to give someone. Great job. You have a way with words. You have a way with words. This can be speaking. This can be writing. It means you think that the other person is a good communicator, or maybe even more so than just a good communicator. You think that the way they speak or the way that they write is particularly good. So that could mean funny, it could mean romantic, it could mean dramatic. Something about the way they speak or the way that they write, you really enjoy that. You can say, you have a way with words. It's quite a nice compliment. I think it's kind of like a bit smart. It's a bit of a smart thing. You have a way with words. Or you can say you're good with words. You're really good with words. Yeah. All right, next one. You look gorgeous. You look gorgeous. Very nice compliment to give. Just be very careful with the way that you say this. For an everyday compliment, I tend not to say you look nice or you look gorgeous today or something like that, because the underlying comment there is, on the other days, that person doesn't look nice. So if I want to compliment someone's appearance, I try to pick a specific thing. I'm like, oh, I've never seen you wear that sweater before. It looks nice on you. Something like that. Like yesterday, my friend had a new dress on and I was like, is that a new dress? And because I thought she looked nice, but I didn't want to make it sound like I don't think she looks nice every day. So I said, is that a new dress? And she goes, yeah. And I said, I think that color is really, really nice on you. It looks really good. And she was so happy about that. So yes, there are these compliments like you look nice, you look great, you look gorgeous, and so on. But I personally kind of prefer to level them up a little bit and just say, pick a specific thing. Like, did you get a new haircut? Did you dye your hair? Did something happen? Like whatever it is, try to pick up on a specific thing, because then that shows you're paying attention to the other person. And you think that whatever they have chosen to do, whatever like clothing or whatever haircut, whatever it is, you think that they have good sense there too, or good style. So it's kind of like it's a very subtle double compliment. Yeah. The next word is you have good taste. You have good taste. This can be for food, fashion, style, for decorating sense, music in movies, whatever. If you think that that person's artistic selection in whatever capacity, if you think that that person makes good choices with their appearance or their hobbies or whatever, you can say you have good taste. This is a fairly sophisticated compliment, I think. We use you have good taste for something like it sounds a bit more sophisticated. Maybe if you both choose the same bottle of wine, perhaps. Like it has kind of a more formal, adultish, sophisticated feeling about it, this compliment. So yeah, maybe wine is a good example of that. Yeah. Oh, nice bottle choice. Like, I really like that. You have good taste. You can follow this, by the way. You have good taste in blah, blah, blah. You have good taste in movies. You have good taste in music. If you want to be specific about something that you think that person is really good at choosing, you have good taste in noun. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Next one is you have a great sense of humor. You have a great sense of humor. This is the underlying compliment in the phrase, you are so funny. This is the underlying compliment. You have a great sense of humor means the other person thinks you are funny, that you are good at telling jokes or you make them laugh. This is actually one of my favorite compliments to get. You have a great sense of humor. Yeah, because I think that, like, you know, people like to laugh. So if someone makes you laugh, you can say this. You have a great sense of humor or you're very funny. Yeah, it's a good one. It's a really good one. So you can say it after a joke, for example, or after maybe you've finished laughing at something the other person has said. You can say, you have a great sense of humor. Good. Next one is your resume is impressive. This is a weird compliment to say to your friends, unless you're like reviewing your friend's resume. It's a bit weird. This is something that perhaps someone interviewing another person for a job would say. The candidate comes in for the interview. The interviewer says, wow, your resume is very impressive. I'd like to ask you a few questions about it. Yay! So this is good to hear in a work situation. Yeah, you really probably won't need to use this with your friends. If you do, it's kind of weird. Oh, wow, this next one is quite a compliment. Nobody's ever said this to me. To be fair, if somebody said this next one to me, I would feel a little bit of like pressure. The compliment here is you make me want to be a better person. This is something that I think you see in movies from time to time. Yeah, I had one person say oh, that something you did inspired me. And that was like really like, oh, that was really exciting. Like somebody was inspired by something. Like, wow, that's great. Or I want to be like you. That's a really cool compliment. But if someone says, you want to make me be a better person, it's like, oh, wow, like that means I'm really important to that person, which is really flattering. But at the same time, if someone said that, I would also be like, if it's like my friend, I would be like, but I want you to be you. Like, I think you're a cool person already. Yeah, it's like, oh, you make me want to be a better person. Like, in that person's viewpoint, you're like somehow above them, and that's uncomfortable. Yeah, I would rather say, you inspire me. I think or like this thing that you did really inspired me. Like if somebody said like, I saw that picture that you posted on Twitter of that pizza today, Alicia, and it really inspired me and I made my own pizza. I'd be like, yay. Oh, next one is nice. Actually, I say this to my friends quite a bit. You are an awesome friend. This is really, really good to use after your friend has helped you with something. Maybe you're moving to a new apartment or a new house, or maybe you've had some trouble and your friend gave you some good advice, or your friend just listened to you when you really needed to talk to someone. After that experience, you can say, thanks so much, you were an awesome friend. Or maybe your friend did something really, really cool and you just want to like tell them, like, I think you're really awesome. Just say, you are an awesome friend. they'll be happy to hear that. Or just, you can abbreviate it to you are awesome. Not just you're an awesome friend, just you are awesome. You are a cool person. You are awesome. You're fantastic. You are an awesome friend. You're an awesome friend. Compliments that I want to hear, quite honestly, I feel that any physical appearance compliment is sort of boring to me, honestly. When people,
I feel you.
really, I'm just like, okay, great. I didn't do anything to have this body or face or whatever. It's like, okay, that doesn't mean anything. Like, what are we gonna do with that? It's like, if you want to compliment somebody, I feel like you should compliment them on their skills, something that they have done or something that they have created, or something about their personality that is valuable to you. I think that that's a much better compliment. So for me, I like, this is delicious, because I love cooking. So when somebody tells me, this is so good, like when they say it in just that right way and you can tell that it's real, you can tell that it's true, I'm just like, yes. When people go, oh my God, this is so good, like I've cooked something really, really well, they say, oh my God, amazing, or I want to eat your food, that sort of thing. When people say that, I'm just like, yes, like that makes me so, so happy, because it's that's one of my favorite things to do. It's a skill. And it's something that like I've worked hard to try to do well. So when someone compliments me on that, I get really excited. All right, so those are compliments you always want to hear. What compliments do you want to hear? I don't know. We've talked about personality compliments and we've talked about skill compliments. But if you have a favorite compliment, leave it in the comment box. We can start a compliment mayhem among the commenters. Anyway, positive feelings after this video. Everybody's cheery, I think. Thanks very much for watching this episode of Top Words, and we will see you again soon. Bye!
I'm going to use the force to make you watch this whole video.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Ask Alicia, the weekly series where you ask me questions and I answer them. Maybe. You can send your questions to me at EnglishClass101.com/ask-Alicia. First question from Harley Passos. I'm very sorry. Harley asks, what is the use of get plus adverb or preposition? For example, I get down. This is a question about phrasal verbs with get. We can use a lot of different things after the word get. In your example, to get down, we use it when dancing, for example, like I want to get down this weekend. It's sort of an old-fashioned expression though, to get down. We can use a lot of different words after the verb get though. For example, get into. To get into something means to become interested in something. You might hear to get at, like get at me, or get at your professor. To get at means to reach out to or to communicate with, but it's a very casual expression. You can say get after, like I need to get after my homework, for example. It means to like chase after or try to do something. Also, to get in, like to get into a club, to get into a restaurant, to get into a party. The nuance is that something is challenging, but you can gain access to that thing. Like I got into the party last night, but I wasn't on the list. There are a lot of different uses of the word get. I can't talk about all of them in this video because there are so many. So if you're curious about the various phrasal verbs that we can use with the word get, check out a dictionary. That's a really good place to start. Next question. Next question comes from Long Ann. Long Ann asks, what is the difference between simple past tense and past continuous tense or past progressive tense? Simple past tense we use for actions that started and ended in the past. So the beginning of the action and the end of the action happened in the past. So for example, the sentence, I ate breakfast is a simple past tense statement. I ate breakfast. Ate is the simple past tense. The past continuous tense, however, or the past progressive tense, is something we use to talk about an action that was continuing at a specific point in time in the past. If I want to use the past progressive tense, I can say, I was eating breakfast. Using that continuous tense, using that progressive tense implies I want to explain something else that happened at that time, or maybe I want to add some more information. So for example, I was eating breakfast at 8 o'clock this morning, or I was eating breakfast when the phone rang, or I was eating breakfast and watching TV at the same time. I was eating breakfast while studying today. By using the past progressive, I'm explaining that an action was continuing at a specific point in time, as in the example, I was eating breakfast at 8 o'clock, Or I can use past progressive to show one action was happening at the same time as another action in the past. If I use just the simple past tense, I'm just saying a simple fact, in other words. This action happened. I ate breakfast at 8 o'clock. If I want to emphasize the continuous nature of the action for some reason, like I was eating breakfast at 8 o'clock, I can use the past progressive tense. In that case, it might be in response to a question like, what were you doing at 8 o'clock this morning? So if someone wants to ask maybe what you were doing at a specific point in time, like someone is suspicious of you, like, what were you doing last night? You can say like, oh, I was having dinner with my friends last night. But past tense, simple past tense is something we use for actions which start and finish in the past. But progressive, the progressive tense in past can be used to emphasize the continuing nature of that situation or that action. Next question. Next question comes from Yasin. Yasin, I'm very sorry. What's the difference between on time and in time? Is it you arrived just on time or you arrived just in time? We use on time to refer to doing something at the correct time, doing something at a scheduled time. So for example, I need to get to work on time, meaning at the correct time. Or did you make it to your appointment on time? In time, however, is used when we want to kind of give a nuance of rushing or hurrying for something. I need to leave my house now to get to the airport in time for my flight. I need to study for my test now if I want to be in time for the party later. You should probably leave now if you want to be in time for the movie. In time for something else. So I want to do action A to make my schedule meet this other condition, this other thing I would like to do, or this other thing I need to do. In time for has the nuance of a deadline. We can use this expression in like a panic, like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make it in time. Like to submit a paper, I'm not going to make it in time. In time means like before the deadline, whereas on time has the meaning of completing an action or completing something at a scheduled time. Next question. Next question comes from Gerson Silva. Hi. What is the difference between shade and shadow? Oh, great. This is a great question. Both of these words can be used to refer to a place that is darker than its surroundings because there's an object that is blocking the light. We can say there's shade over there or there's a shadow over there. In that sentence, they are used the same. However, shadow refers to the dark shape only. So a person can cast a shadow. We use cast, the verb cast, with a shadow. I cast a shadow when I stand in the sun, for example. Shade, however, as a noun, refers to or has the nuance of a kind of shelter. So shelter provided by some other object, shelter from the light, shelter from the sun. So we would say stand in the shade because shade has the nuance of shelter. We would not say stand in the shadow. Shadow does not carry the nuance of shelter in the way that shade does. Interestingly enough though, shade and shadow are both used as verbs as well. To shadow something means to follow something closely. To shadow someone at work means to follow someone at work and try to understand their job, for example. Shade is used as a verb to mean to create shelter from light. For example, the canopy shaded us from the sun. Shade also has some interesting uses. You might hear the slang phrase to throw shade. Throwing shade is a really interesting slang expression that we use, which means to communicate disrespect or to communicate like contempt, bad feelings for something. When you're speaking generally, in most cases, when you want to talk about a dark, cool area, we should say shade. Stand in the shade. When you want to talk only about the dark area, that dark object, use shadow. Next question, actually 2 questions from Danny. Hi Danny. Danny's first question is, you talked about lit as slang. Yes, I talked about lit in episode 2. Episode 1, Episode 2 of Ask Alicia. Can you please talk about the verb light and using it in active and passive? Sure. Light means to start a fire. So to light a fire, to light a candle. Some examples of active and passive voice with this verb then. Why don't we light some candles for dinner tonight? All the candles in the restaurant were lit. On our camping trip, my neighbors lit a fire and we brought hamburgers to make. A fire was lit in the campsite while we were gone. I was going to light a fire, but I fell asleep. So to light means to
start a fire. He lit the house on fire. We can say to light blah 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 on fire. So there are a few different examples of using the verb light in active and in passive, past tense, future tense as well. So I hope that that's helpful. Danny's second question, can you talk about ride and its uses? Like take someone for a ride. Can I take a ride? Ride is another verb that has a lot of different uses. You use the example, to take someone for a ride means to drive together with someone. To go for a ride has the nuance of doing something just for fun. It's just for fun. I want to take a ride to a location. I want to take a ride to the mountains this weekend, or take a ride to the beach. But to take someone for a ride means to invite someone to drive somewhere with you in a car. That's one way to use ride. You can also say, give me a ride. Can you give me a ride? So this is a request expression. I don't have a car. My friend has a car. I want my friend to take me in their car to a location. I can say, can you give me a ride to the movie theater? Can you give me a ride to the lake? Give me a ride is a request. So give me a ride in your car. So there are a lot of uses of ride. If you want to see all of them, or if you want to see more of them, I recommend checking a dictionary. There are quite a few, and I can't talk about them all in this video. So please check a dictionary. Next question. Okay, next question is from Fem. What does "you're too good to be true" mean? Is it good or not? Maybe you've heard this in a famous song. You're too good to be true, can't take my eyes off of you. In that case, it's a good meaning. A different way to say this expression is, you are so good, you are so amazing that I can't believe you're real. So in other words, something must be wrong. There must be some problem with you. It's not possible for you to be real because you are so good, you are so great. So you're too good to be true. It's like, wow, I'm amazed by you. So it's a good expression. If, however, maybe in a more uncommon situation, someone said like, this guy's too good to be true. Like maybe reviewing a job application, for example. This girl, she's too good to be true. Like if it's said in that way, maybe there's something suspicious about that person. This doesn't seem right. There's just too much good information here. There must be some problem with this person. Depending on the intonation, it can portray either a very positive meaning or a very suspicious meaning. In most cases, however, it's a positive meaning. So if you heard this in a song, for example, it's probably a very positive, kind of romantically nuanced phrase. Thanks very much for that question, Fem. Nice one. Next question. Rabia Arshad. I'm very sorry. What's the difference between can and may? I saw this on the Dining Like a Champ cheat sheet and noticed these words were used for requests. What's the difference? Can and may for requests in modern English, in modern American English, are used the same. If I use them in a statement, can refers to ability, may refers to permission. Please just be careful. Can and may are only used in the same way to make requests in modern American English. Next question is from Taylor. Hi again, Taylor. Are where are you from and where were you born the same? Great question. Where are you from? Where were you born? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Where were you born is only the place where you were physically brought into the world. Maybe your hometown, the place you identify as your hometown, is different from the place where you were born. Maybe you were born in Spain, but you grew up in the USA. Your family moved after that. So you could say, I was born in Spain, but I grew up in New York City. If someone asks you, where are you from? It might be a good idea to say, I was born in blah, 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 but I was raised in blah, 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 in a different place, if the two places are different. Next question. Next question is from Hassan. Hassan says, how do we use gotta in the negative form? So we did a live stream about have to and got to and need to on the YouTube channel and on Facebook a while ago. Gotta is a contraction, a very casual contraction of got and to. It's not a real word. Gotta is just the sound that we make when we say got to very quickly. Like, I gotta go to school today, or I gotta finish my homework, or I gotta get to sleep, I'm so tired. In American English, we do not use gotta in the negative. Instead, we use have to or need to. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I don't need to go to work tomorrow. I don't need to go to sleep right now. But American English does not use gotta in the negative form. Next question. Next question is from Sadaham. I need to improve my spoken English and my my vocabulary. How do I do that? I think there's a tool on the website where you can record your voice speaking English and compare it to a native speaker saying the same thing. So I think that's a feature on the website. So check that out. If you haven't been, it's at EnglishClass101.com. There should be a recording function there where you can record your voice and compare it to a native speaker and keep practicing that until your voice and your pronunciation matches the native speaker's pronunciation. So you'll see like little waveforms there even on the recording page. So you can try to match your voice to a native speaker. So of course, practicing with native speakers where possible, repeating. So creating your own speech is important too. Practicing with like recording tools, voice recording tools. When you record yourself, you suddenly hear so many problems in your speech. So recording yourself can be another good tool. But in terms of building your vocabulary, first I need to define a goal. What do I want to talk about? If I want to talk about food, I should look for materials in my target language talking about food, and I should study those. So think about what it is that you want to do and try to be specific. Try to narrow your goal down to, what are the words that I need to do, and try focusing there. And then maybe you can widen the focus to other interests here and there too. But start maybe with the things that are going to help you communicate the things that you really want to say. So always think about your goals. What do I want to learn how to say? Next question from Ricardo Villarreal. Oh, hey Ricardo, welcome back. Is it correct to learn several languages at the same time? Ooh. Is it correct? I can't answer that, whether it's correct or not. So I've heard that if you want to try, for whatever your reason is, if you want to try to study more than one language at the same time, it's better to try to choose languages that are quite different so that there's less chance of you making mistakes or getting confused in your studies. The other thing that I think I would say is if you're studying more than one language at the same time, your progress might be a bit slower than if you studied just one language. Yeah, is it correct? I don't know. I can't answer that. That's up to you to decide. So those are all the questions that I want to talk about this week. Thank you so much for submitting so many interesting questions. I really appreciate it. If you haven't submitted a question yet, you can check it out. The submission page is at EnglishClass101.com/ask-Alicia. So check that out. Send me your question. If you liked the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel too, and check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other stuff. We talked about a few things today that you can find on the website, so definitely check that out. So thanks very much for watching this episode of Ask Alicia. I will see you again next Saturday. Bye-bye. Bonus vocabulary word for today, spoiler, spoiler. A spoiler is secret information, key information about your media, your book, your movie, your TV show. If you see the phrase spoiler alert somewhere, it means the next piece of text, the next information, the next thing in the video is going to be secret information about the story. So if you have not seen the movie, if you have not seen the TV show, or you have not seen the book, you might find information you don't want to read yet. So spoiler means something that will spoil or something that will ruin the story for you. So no spoilers about Star Wars until we've seen it, yeah? Use the Force to study English. Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to be talking about some English tongue twisters. I'm joined again by...
Michael. Hey, everybody.
So today we're going to be talking about some things in English that are difficult to say. They might be difficult for you, and they're probably going to be difficult for us to explain. So let's get right into it. Michael, what is your first tongue twister?
My first tongue twister is, how much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? One more time, a little bit faster. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Excellent. And there is a traditional response to this one. You're familiar with the response? So
once you tell me, I don't know.
It's a question, right? It ends in a question. There's a question mark on your card. And the traditional response is, it would chuck all the wood that a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Ah,
yeah. I have it on one of my cards, actually, I think, too. This was totally unplanned, I would like to point out. Yeah, here it is. It would chuck all the wood that a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood. So you can use this with your friends if you want.
All right, let's do it real quick. Ready?
Okay.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
It would chuck all the wood that a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Hey. All right, there's one down. Okay, let's see. We've talked about that one already, so I guess I'll go with another classic one that I've known since I was little. This one uses the P sound a lot. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Lots of P sounds in this one. Can you speed it up for us?
Well, I don't know if I can say it in the first place. Peter Piper picked a... Jimanamanama. Jiminiminimanamanama.
Have you not heard this one before?
I have it. Okay. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Hold on, one more time. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. For me, it helps if you snap. Okay. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a pack... Oh my God, I can't do it.
Maybe
okay.
it's better if you don't read it.
Those are... Peter... No, I can't do it.
Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. That wasn't very good. I wasn't perfect.
One more time.
Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers.
Three more times.
Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers.
Peter Piper picked a... Oh, dude, I can't do it. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. There we go. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a pack of Oh, man, that's tough. The P's, man. I can't do the P's. Oh, wow.
P's can't do you either. Okay. Go to your next one. What's your next one?
Now my brain is frazzled now. Okay, I just like this one. I've actually never heard this before, but I like it because there's a lot of THs in it. And a lot of foreign people who are learning English, let me say that, a lot of non-native English speakers have trouble with TH. That's been true for a lot of my students, regardless of where they're from, what their native language is. So, the 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday.
Wow, I've never seen this one.
Yeah, me either. But I just thought it was good because remember, TH. So, the 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. Want to give it a try?
Yeah, I'm going to try. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne throughout Thursday. That's a good one. That's a really good one for TH sounds, I think. I think the consonant sounds, like the hard consonant sounds, like the P sound, or maybe even the W sound a little bit. Like it's easy to say that quickly, but this one's really tough to say quickly, I think, and clearly. The 33 thieves thought that they thrilled the throne. Just doesn't come out as smoothly, maybe.
Spitting a lot, maybe that's...
Maybe so. Okay, I guess I'll go to my next one. I really have no faith that I'm going to be able to say this at all. This is like the hardest thing that I think I was able to find. I'm going to have to read it slowly. The sixth sick sheik's sixth sheep's sick. Yeah.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
The sixth sick sheik's sixth sheep's sick.
Yeah.
The sixth six... Oh.
I know, like the second word, you can't even say it. It's really hard.
One more time, all right. The sixth sick sheik's sixth sheep's sick. The sixth... Oh.
That was good, that was good.
Oof.
That was way better than I
we'll
thought I was
just
gonna
leave
do.
it on that one.
I
did it once.
The sixth sick sheik's sixth sheep's sick. That's really hard. It's really, I don't think I can say it any faster than that.
The sixth sick sheik's sixth... Oh. Oh. I can't. I'm at a loss of words. I'm speechless. I can't. Okay, one more time.
Okay.
Ready? The sixth sick sheik's sixth sheep's sick. The sixth sick. Ooh, more than once is too tough.
You got it out the one time. That was solid.
That's all
That was solid.
I give up. I give up.
Good. Okay, what's your next one?
My next one is the soldier's shoulder surely hurts. Another one I've actually never heard. But I liked it because everyone knows Sally sells seashells down by the seashore. The S and the SH is confusing. Mm-hmm. And many times in English, like surely, there's no SH, but it makes that SH sound. So it's a fun one.
Yeah.
The soldier's shoulder surely hurts. The soldier's shoulder surely hurts. Want to give it a try?
The soldier's shoulder surely hurts. This is the tough part here for me anyway, is the soldier's shoulder, making that sound really clearly as that. The soldier's shoulder surely hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make it sound so easy. Wow, professional.
Not really. Okay, on to the last one. This one is really short, actually. It's only 2 words, but it's tricky. It's really tricky. I can't say this fast. Irish wristwatch. Okay, Irish by itself is fine. Wristwatch is fine, but together they're really hard to say. Irish wristwatch.
What?
I can't say it. Irish wristwatch. It's really hard.
Irish wristwatch.
Yeah.
That's very slow. Okay, Irish. Oh, wow.
It's really hard.
It seems easier than it is.
Yeah.
When you were saying it, I thought, come on. Okay, Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch. Irish wristwatch.
Nice.
There we go. Okay.
Irish wrist. I can't say this one. Irish. I can't try it. This one's hard. This one's really hard for me. But yeah, only 2 words. It's just that combination of the sh and the r. That's just, I can't. I got nothing on that one. All right. Do you have any more?
No, I think that's it.
Oh, wow. That was a good one. That was really tough. Okay, well, give them a try. Please give them a try. And if you have any tongue twisters, preferably in English, please share them with us in the comments. They're great ways to practice your pronunciation, and you can impress your friends if you can do them quickly. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Hi everyone, I'm Alicia. Thanksgiving is one of the most celebrated holidays in the United States. It also marks the beginning of the holiday season, the weeks leading up to Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and the winter solstice, which are all widely celebrated holidays in the US. For retailers, Thanksgiving begins their busiest season. Thanksgiving is celebrated on the 4th Thursday of November. Thanksgiving was founded as a national holiday by one of the most famous presidents of the United States. Do you know who it might have been? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. Thanksgiving, to a large extent, is about having a feast with friends and family. Turkey is the traditional main course with yams, squash, pumpkin pie, cranberries, and other rich and filling foods rounding out the meal. Some families spend weeks preparing for their Thanksgiving feast, and to stuff oneself is most certainly encouraged. The Thanksgiving meal of today is rooted in the meal that the Pilgrims from Europe shared with the Native Americans on the first Thanksgiving. This was quite a feast. Turkey, duck, goose, squash, corn, and a plethora of other foods were shared between the Europeans and the Native Americans. This original fete was said to go on for 3 full days. Football is another tradition during Thanksgiving celebrations in the United States. Watching the football game while preparing the Thanksgiving meal is an important part of the celebration for many families. Families that aren't sports fans, however, may opt to spend the time outside, enjoying the crisp autumn air, or may find other diversions to enjoy while the turkey cooks. Thanksgiving is not a uniquely American holiday. There are similar celebrations in Canada, for instance. The concept behind the holiday, showing thankfulness by having a feast, spans many cultures. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know who founded Thanksgiving as a national holiday? Abraham Lincoln established Thanksgiving during the dark days of the American Civil War. Even though the holiday was officially born during this conflict, it's more associated with the initially good relations between the first European immigrants and the Native Americans. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? Is there a day in your country where you give thanks? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time.
Okay, welcome back to Weekly Words. Weekly Words. I'm Alicia, and today we're going to talk about words that make you sound smart. Oh, I'm all over this one. First word is esoteric. When something is esoteric, it's... Alright, so the word esoteric refers to something that requires specialized knowledge. So in a conversation, somebody might use this word to say, sorry to be esoteric, and then they'll continue talking about some subject or some concept that requires a certain level of knowledge in the given field. Next word, superfluous. Superfluous just means extra, really. Can a person be superfluous? So superfluous, yeah, just refers to stuff that's maybe not necessary, or the extra just stuff or extra things in a given context. So maybe, like, oh, I have so much superfluous stuff in my kitchen. Of course, using superfluous in such a casual way like that is very unnatural, but you could do it if you really wanted to sound smart. Acquiesce. Acquiesce means to, like you might have, can I say a line from Pirates of the Caribbean? Something like, he will not acquiesce to your request, or she will not acquiesce to your request. It just means she won't obey or listen or do as told. But it's the same exact meaning, to acquiesce, to accept something, or to go along with. Angst. Angst refers to just kind of this, like that unhappy feeling, this sort of angry or maybe melancholy, or just feeling like, you're misunderstood. So a teenager, or I suppose a teenager themselves might not use this word, but the parents of the teenager might say, oh, my teenager is so filled with angst. Kitsch. Kitsch. Kitsch refers to, in my mind anyway, just junk, honestly. It's the little things that, you know, might crowd your house, like a snow globe or special little ornaments or just, you know, decorative knickknacks. You might say, oh, my aunt's apartment is really kitschy. It means she has maybe like a lot of knickknacks or the style is just kind of... All right, that is the end. So those were a few words to make you sound smart. I hope that you learned something. I certainly did. And I'll see you again next time. Thank you. Bye.
How are your English listening skills? First, you'll see an image and hear a question. Next comes a short dialogue. Listen carefully and see if you can answer correctly. We'll show you the answer at the end.
A male and female student are looking at job advertisements. Which job is the female student going to apply for? Hey, what do you think about this job? The hourly pay is pretty high.
Sure, the pay looks great, but could you really do a newspaper delivery route?
Of course, I'm good at riding bikes, but I'm worried about waking up early.
What about this one? The pay isn't as high, but you can work 2 or 3 days a week and start working from the evening.
Oh, this one? A supermarket cashier, huh? Well, it would be good to work after school.
This one for a coffee shop might be good too.
Oh yeah, I love that place, and it's on my way to school.
Not bad, huh?
Which one should I apply to?
Which two is it between? The coffee shop and the newspaper delivery route?
Yeah, the pay for the newspaper route is really nice. Okay, my mind's made up. I guess I'll just have to get up early. Which job is the female student going to apply for? A male and female student are looking at job advertisements. Which job is the female student going to apply for? Hey, what do you think about this job? The hourly pay is pretty high.
Sure, the pay looks great, but could you really do a newspaper delivery route?
Of course, I'm good at riding bikes, but I'm worried about waking up early.
What about this one? The pay isn't as high, but you can work 2 or 3 days a week and start working from the evening.
Oh, this one? A supermarket cashier, huh? Well, it would be good to work after school.
This one for a coffee shop might be good too.
Oh yeah, I love that place, and it's on my way to school.
Not bad, huh?
Which one should I apply to?
Which two is it between? The coffee shop and the newspaper delivery route?
Yeah, the pay for the newspaper route is really nice. Okay, my mind's made up. I guess I'll just have to get up early.
Hi everybody and welcome back to EnglishClass101.com's YouTube channel. My name is Alicia and today I'm going to give a short explanation of the difference between look, watch, and see. So let's get started. Okay, the first verb that I want to talk about is look. We use look when we simply want to explain that we are moving our eyes to something. Just moving the eyes is to look at something. There's no expectation that the item or the object we are looking at is going to change. There's no expectation that some change is going to happen. We're simply moving our eyes to something. Finally, when you use look and an object follows the verb, you need to follow look with at. So for example, look at that, look at me, look at that, look at her, look at him. All of these use at because an object follows the verb look. So look at that thing. When you use an expression like look over there, there's no object there. So only when there's an object after the word look, you need to use at to connect the two. Okay, so remember, look is used when you're simply moving your eyes to something. Okay, let's talk then about the verb watch. So we use watch when we want to focus our attention on something. So focusing your attention can be on something happening in front of you, like a performance. It can be movie, TV. But the nuance with watch is you are watching something that is changing or moving. Something is going to happen. There's an expectation of change or movement, evolution in some way. We use watch in those cases. Focused attention on something that is changing or something that is moving.
is when we use watch. Then finally, see. The verb see is used when we just notice something. We happen to notice something. Maybe a person has come into the room and we see that person. We notice something. But we're not necessarily focusing. So maybe we see it, our eyes catch it, but we don't focus on that thing. That is when we use see. So to recap, we use look just to move our eyes to something. We use watch for focused attention on something that is moving or something that is changing. And we use see when we just notice something, but we don't necessarily focus on it. Okay, so this is the basic use of these three verbs, but there are a couple of exceptions. So here I have special cases, especially for performances. So for example, movies, TV shows, concerts, sporting events, and so on. These have slightly different rules. We will only use watch or see for these cases. Please do not use look in these cases. Please use watch or see. If you're having trouble deciding when to use watch or see, a good rule or a good guideline is if it's something outside the house, something outside your home, your apartment, use the verb see. If you're at home doing something, at home, like watching a movie, for example, use the verb watch. So for example, over here, you would see a movie in a movie theater, see a baseball game, watch a DVD at home, or watch the awards show at home. So these are at-home actions, and these are outside the home actions. So we use see and watch in these cases. Okay, but let's try to choose the correct verb in these example sentences that I've prepared. So first one, tonight I'm going to something something Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is a popular TV show, so we should use watch because we learned that watch is used for things outside, or I'm sorry, because we learned that watch is used for actions at home, things we do at home. It's more natural to use watch. I'm going to watch Game of Thrones. Okay, the next sentence. I want to something something that new movie. New movie probably means going to a movie theater, so we should use the verb see. I want to see that new movie is the correct verb here. Something something up ahead. Traffic is terrible. So up ahead means in front of you, in front of the car. In this case, it's car, it's traffic related. So up ahead, in this case, the speaker is asking the listener to move his or her eyes in front of them, to go up ahead with their eyes. So you can use the verb look. Look up ahead. Traffic is terrible. So move your eyes up ahead is the command. Okay, next one. Last night I stayed in and something something a football game. So stayed in means stayed home. I stayed at home. We use the expression stayed in. So I stayed in and watched. This is an at-home action, past tense. I watched a football game last night. Okay. Next one, I can't wait to something something my favorite band next week. So again, this is a performance outside the house, my favorite band. So we'll use see. I can't wait to see my favorite band next week. Okay, next sentence. When I something something into the forest, I something something a deer. Okay, there are two verbs in this sentence. We're going to use looked. So when I moved my eyes into the forest, I moved my direction, my eyes moved in the direction of the forest, and I something something a deer. So we noticed something. I saw a deer. I saw a deer. A deer entered my eyes is a weird way to say it, but that's the nuance here. I happened to notice. I wasn't focusing, but I saw this in my eye. I saw a deer. Okay. Let's look at a really difficult one. I something something up from my book and something something you. You were something something a video on your phone. Okay, so similar here. I something something up. I looked up. I moved my eyes up from my book. So I was reading. I moved my eyes up from my book and something something you. So here I noticed. I saw, past tense. I saw you.
Then here, you were something, a video on your phone, a video on your phone. So maybe we need to use the verb watch because the person has focused their attention on their phone, on the video. You were watching. Past progressive tense. You were watching a video on your phone. So here, in this situation, we have all three verbs. Finally, let's use it in a question. When did you last something, your roommate? So when did you last notice your roommate? We would use the verb see. When did you last see your roommate? When was the last time you saw your roommate? You noticed your roommate. So these are some great examples of sentences where it might be difficult to guess. Should I use look? Should I use see? Should I use watch? But keep these rules in mind. So remember, when you move your eyes to something, use look. Don't forget to use at when an object follows the verb too. When you want to focus your attention or talk about something that's changing and moving, use watch, like movies and TV shows. When you want to just talk about noticing something but not focusing your attention, use see. So this is a basic introduction to the differences between look, see, and watch. I hope it was useful for you. If you like, you can try to leave a comment with one of these verbs in your sentence, or if you have any questions, please let us know as well. Thanks very much for watching this video. If you liked this video, please be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Also, check us out for more at EnglishClass101.com. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye! Hey everyone, I'm Alicia. Halloween is a time for celebration in the USA. It's become the second most popular holiday in the nation over the years. Halloween is known for its oftentimes scary costumes, elaborate parties and events, horror film festivals, and its many Gothic trappings. This holiday was a latecomer to the US, not really becoming popular until the early 20th century. Today, it's one of the most anticipated holidays in the USA. Halloween is very much associated with scary costumes and things that are wonderfully creepy. Do you know what holiday dressing up in scary costumes was likely borrowed from? We'll show you the answer at the end of this video. People in the USA typically carve pumpkins into scary jack-o'-lanterns, decorate their houses to look as creepy as possible, and wear elaborate costumes to celebrate this holiday. These aspects of Halloween, according to some, have their roots in various Celtic and European myths, legends, and cultural traditions. Today, popular horror films have also influenced the cultural traditions that surround Halloween. The monster movies of the early 20th century are significant contributors to the look and feel of modern Halloween celebrations in the USA. Trick-or-treating started at the beginning of the 20th century to curb the vandalism and destruction that once characterized this holiday in the USA. Today, Halloween is a night when the streets are full of families getting treats from their neighbors, and vandalism and other problems are rare. Some families and social groups set up elaborate haunted houses and invite people to go through for free or for a donation. Hayrides and other nighttime events are also very popular in rural areas. Check the local theaters and TV stations around Halloween, and you'll find plenty of scary stuff to watch, too. Over the years, Halloween costumes in the USA have become more varied. Some people, particularly younger participants, forego the dark Gothic theme of the holiday and dress up as characters from adventure movies, literary figures, or even historical figures. And now, here's the answer to the quiz. Do you know what holiday dressing up in scary costumes was likely borrowed from? Samhain is considered to be a significant influence on Halloween celebrations, though this is disputed by some scholars. Samhain was, and still is to some extent, celebrated in Scotland and Ireland. It's associated with the final harvest of the year more than it is with scary ghouls and goblins, though spirits do play a part. The dressing up was originally done to scare malicious spirits away or to trick them into thinking that you were one of them to avoid harm. How was this lesson? Did you learn something interesting? Is Halloween celebrated in your country? If so, how? Please leave a comment at EnglishClass101.com. Until next time. Hi everybody, my name is Alicia, and today we're going to be talking about the top 25 English phrases, so let's get started. The first phrase is hello. Hello, of course, is used as a greeting. You can greet your friends, you can greet your coworkers, your family with this phrase just by saying hello. Hey, hi, what's up? Hello. Sup. Yo. Pretty much any time of day you can use hello. Hello? The next phrase is good morning. Good morning is used as a greeting in the morning. You can kind of feel when morning ends for you. Good morning is nice and polite. Or even just morning with your close friends or close coworkers. The next phrase is good night. Good night is fine. We don't use this to greet other people. We use it when we're saying goodbye to other people at night. Family members, particularly mothers and fathers, to say good night to their children before they put them to bed. You can say it to your friend in a text message or in an email if you've been talking for a while. Good night. So the next word to talk about is goodbye. Use it when you say goodbye to your friends, when you leave your friends. Goodbye. Bye, of course. Take care. Have a nice day. Peace out. That's another way to say goodbye. Okay, the next phrase is I'm plus your name. Of course, this is a way to introduce yourself. You can use I'm, in my case, Alicia. I'm Alicia to introduce yourself in any situation. New friend, I'm Alicia. Okay, the next phrase is what's your name? What's your name is used to ask someone else what their name is. So, what is your name sounds a bit. Try to use what's your name. If you forget someone's name, you can say sorry, what's your name? Or sorry, what's your name again? Next phrase is nice to meet you. Nice to meet you anytime you meet someone new. Nice to meet you is fine. Good to meet you is a little more casual. Great to meet you sounds very excited. Pleasure to meet you sounds like maybe a formal situation or a business context. Okay, the next phrase is how are you? How are you it's just a friendly way to check in with the other person. You can use it with friends, your family, your coworkers, maybe even your boss to a certain degree. How are ya? How you doing? The next phrase is I'm fine, thanks. And you? If you saw English in 3 minutes, we talked a lot about this phrase. Instead of I'm fine, thank you, and you, say I'm good, thanks. How are you? Just shorten it, make it a little bit more natural. How are you? Good. How are you? Great. How are you? Not so good. How are you? Okay. And so on. So when someone says, how are you? I usually say, I'm good. This week, I blah, blah, blah. Give some information about what you've been up to. Maybe a hobby, something that you did recently, an event, something interesting you saw, whatever. People want to make that connection with you, and it's a good chance for you to continue speaking. The next word is please. Please is a polite phrase used when you want something from someone else. You can use this as a response when someone offers you something, like in a restaurant, for example. Would you like more water? Would you like something to drink? Oh, please. The next phrase is thank you. Thank you is used to express your appreciation. You can use thank you with everybody. The next phrase is you're welcome. You're welcome. When someone says thank you, you can say you're welcome. No biggie. I use no biggie as in no biggie is short for no big problem. The next word is yes. Yes, of course. Yes means is any positive expression. Someone asks you a question and the answer is a positive answer. You say yes, yep, yeah, oui. No. Next, I'm guessing I know it. Yep. The next word is no. No is a negative response to something when you have to give a negative answer. So as you can probably guess, the long form of no is negative. I like to use nope. It's very, very casual. Not gonna happen. My parents would use that with me. To soften that a little bit, if you want to show a negative response to something, like let's go out for dinner tonight. What do you want to do? Like, do you want to go out? Not really. No, I don't think so. To soften it. The next word is okay. Okay. This word comes from copy editors. Okay. When they had to check a manuscript, they had to label the manuscript all clear, AC. But because they were copy editors and they have a very, very sick sense of humor, they thought they would mark it OK for all clear to make a joke because O and K do not start all and clear. But it caught on among everybody in the world. Anyway, okay is used to agree with somebody else. Well, it can be used actually to express a positive or kind of a slight negative, I feel. Transitioning in your conversation, you can say, okay, now we're going to talk about blah, blah, blah. Okay, the next phrase is excuse me. Excuse me, it's used to get someone's attention in English when you don't know the other person. For example, in a store, a supermarket, maybe a stranger on the street, you need to ask directions. You can use excuse me. You can use excuse me in the supermarket. Excuse me, can you tell me where the hot sauce is? If you've done something rude in public, you can use excuse me. I personally do not do rude things in public ever. I'm sorry is the next word we're going to talk about. I'm sorry is used to apologize. When you have made a mistake or someone you know has made a mistake and you're connected to it, or you just feel bad, you can use I'm sorry. You made a mistake at work. I'm sorry. You forgot to feed your cat. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. You bumped someone next to you. Oh, sorry. What time is it is the next phrase when you need to check what time it is. What time is it? When you ask someone else what time it is, maybe you say this to yourself too. Check your watch, check your phone, check a clock. Pretty straightforward phrase. There aren't really any short versions, so that's an easy one. Where is the plus a location. So you can use this for a building or a store. We're not going to use this where is the for a place, a city name or a state name or a country name. To do that, you would need to remove the. But where is the bank? Where is the post office? You can use this to ask directions, to ask for help in your house or at work. Where is the copy machine? Where is the file I need? Where is the blah, blah, blah? Where is the bathroom is perhaps a very important question to know. The next one is, may I use the restroom? May I use the restroom is a polite and soft expression that you can use if you need to use the toilet, you need to use the washroom. When you're at someone's house for the very first time, when you're in a place that is new to you, you can ask, may I use the restroom? More casually, can I go to the bathroom? To be very polite, you can say, may I go to the bathroom? The next phrase is, I would like to order something. You can use this at a restaurant probably, or in any situation where you need to place an order. I'd like a pizza. I'd like a beer. Can I get the check, please? This will be used at a restaurant. When you've finished your meal and it's time to go, can I get the check, please? In a very, very casual situation, you can just say, check, please. That's fine. The next phrase is see you soon. See you soon is used with friends and family members, perhaps, when you expect to see them again soon after saying goodbye to them. This is used at the end of the conversation. You're going separate directions. You say, see you soon. See ya is also good, or just see you. To make it a little more formal, you can say, I'll see you again soon. Make a full sentence out of it that way. The next phrase is see you later. See you later is very similar to see you soon, but the point is with see you later is that you're probably going to meet that person again later on in the same day. The last phrase is really. Really is a very useful word because you can use it to show you are interested in a conversation with upward intonation. Really, really, tell me more. Or to show that you're not so interested in the conversation with downward intonation. Really. So there are many other words that you can use similar to really in this way, like seriously or oh, and so on. So it's a really good practice for your intonation. So those are 25 very common words and phrases in English. If you liked this video, if you like this topic, please subscribe. I'm sure there'll be a button here somewhere or a button here, wherever. But please be sure to subscribe to our channel because we're going to be doing more videos like this, and we already have more videos like this, so please be sure to check them out. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye. Really? Oh, interesting. Okay, I see. Great, fantastic, unbelievable. Gratitude, subjects. What do we have for dinner tonight? Pizza? Affirmative. I'll riff on that. I am Chris Hardwick.